Family financial education. How to protect your family's money and future. Hello, friends. Today I want to invite you to reflect on a very important topic for any household: family financial education. For a long time, talking about finances seemed complicated, distant, and reserved for experts. But today, things have changed. We have smartphones, the internet, digital banking, official platforms, and many tools to learn from home. But we also live in an age full of risks. There are too many promises of easy money, miraculous investments, dubious platforms, and people who offer quick profits without clearly explaining the dangers. That's why family financial education is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. Educating a family financially doesn't mean becoming a stock market expert. It means learning to better manage the money that comes into the home. It means understanding that earning money is not the same as managing it. A family needs to learn to spend wisely, save with discipline, protect themselves against unforeseen events, and invest prudently. Before thinking about making a lot of money, the first question should be, how can I best protect my family? Because a family can work for years, save little by little, and build wealth, but an accident, an illness, poorly managed debt, or a bad investment can quickly destroy all that effort. That's why protection must be a priority. Life insurance, for example, shouldn't be seen merely as an expense. It should be seen as a protective tool for those who depend on the family income. If the primary breadwinner is no longer with the family, they not only face an emotional loss, but also a financial crisis. Insurance doesn't replace that person, but it can help pay off debts, keep the home, keep the children in school, and provide time to reorganize family life. We must also think about our children's future. Many parents dream of seeing their children study, prepare themselves, and have better opportunities. But education costs money: university, books, transportation, rent, food, and daily expenses can become a heavy burden if not planned in advance. That's why savings plans, educational insurance, and other tools exist to help prepare for that future. Not all plans are created equal, and they should always be reviewed carefully. But the central idea is crucial: prepare today for a need that will arise tomorrow. A college fund isn't built in a week. It's built little by little, month after month, year after year, with patience and discipline. Herein lies a great lesson: time is one of money's best allies. The sooner you start, the easier it can be to reach a goal. Not by magic, but because consistent saving can help your money grow over the years. But just as there are real opportunities, there are also dangers. Today, we see many offers online for cryptocurrencies, forex, automated bots, foreign platforms, and so-called experts promising quick profits. They show us luxuries, trips, cars, and a life of success to convince people to hand over their money. But a family should remember something very simple. When a promise sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Before investing, you have to understand. If you don't understand how it works, don't invest. If you don't know who regulates the institution, don't hand over your money. If someone pressures you to decide quickly, be suspicious. If they guarantee high returns with no risk, stay away. Family money should not be used to experiment with promises. Money meant for food, rent, education, health, or retirement should not be put in the hands of strangers. That's why many families can start by learning about more regulated and transparent instruments. In Mexico, for example, there are options like CETES, Mexican Treasury certificates. In the United States, there are Treasury instruments. In Italy, there are government instruments like Botbank bonds and BTP bank transfer bonds. Each country has its own rules, platforms, and institutions. But the idea remains the same: before seeking high returns, it's wise to learn with clearer, regulated, and more prudent instruments. It's also important to understand that not every advertised return is a real gain. If an investment pays a certain percentage, but inflation rises by almost the same amount, the real gain may be much lower. And if there are taxes as well, the final benefit is reduced even further. That's why we must distinguish between nominal return and real return. Nominal return is the number we see advertised. Real return is what truly preserves or increases our purchasing power after considering inflation and taxes. Another fundamental point is debt. Debt can be a tool or a trap. It can help buy a house, finance studies, or meet an important need. But it can also become a chain reaction if used without control. Credit cards, payday loans, impulse purchases, and small payments can accumulate into a very heavy burden. Before buying something on credit, we shouldn't just ask, how much will I pay? Per minute we should also ask ourselves, how much will I pay in total? Because many debts seem small per minute monthly payment. But they are very expensive when you look at the total cost. Family financial education should also be practiced at home. It's not about turning the family table into an office, but about speaking clearly. How much is coming in? How much is going out? What expenses are necessary? What expenses can we avoid? Do we have emergency savings? Do we have expensive debts? Are we protected if something happens? When children see their parents planning, comparing, saving, and making decisions calmly, they learn. They learn that money is not a mystery. They learn that money is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used well or poorly. A financially educated family isn't one that never makes mistakes. It's one that learns, asks questions, compares, and doesn't spend their money blindly. We can start with simple steps. First, know how much money comes in and how much goes out. Second, reduce unnecessary expenses. Third, create an emergency fund. Fourth, protect your family with adequate insurance, if it's available. Fifth, learn about regulated financial instruments before investing. You don't have to solve everything in a single day, the important thing is to start. Because money represents effort, work, time, and sacrifice. That's why you have to take care of it. Family financial education isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about living with more order, more security, and more peace of mind. It's about protecting your home, your health, your education, your children's future, and the peace of the family. And if there is anything we can leave our children, besides love and values, it's the ability to make better decisions. Let them learn to earn. Let them learn to save. Let them learn to invest. Let them learn to protect, and let them learn to be wary of easy promises. That can be one of the most valuable inheritances. Thank you for joining us in this video. If you want to continue learning about these topics, I invite you to visit our Family Financial Education playlist on this same channel. If you found this content helpful, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on notifications, and share it with other families who also want to better manage their money and build a more secure future. Thank you for watching.